Hey folks, Dan Bidondi for TruthRadioShow.com, and we're at this frozen river here, December 26th of 2016. And I just drove by here and I had to stop, just look at this river. I mean, it's nothing compared to the Delaware. I'm just looking at it. It's right now, it's about 37 degrees out here in Rhode Island, and the water's frozen here. So it just reminded me that people do not celebrate Christmas the way it should be celebrated. Now, I'm a Judeo-Christian, and Jesus has nothing to do. He was not born in December. It was actually pagan holidays and satanic holidays on December 25th and such, and part of winter solstice and all that. But that's not why we should celebrate December 25th. I'm freezing, so don't mind me with my little chatter here. But anyway, December 25th is a very historic, significant thing that took place on that day that people quickly forget about, especially in history books and schools. One little event that took place that changed the world for the better. I mean, especially here in this country. December 25th, midnight going into Christmas Day, Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day. It was a man named General George Washington. They were in the Revolution. Everybody knows American history because we know the schools are erasing it. So, during the Revolution, we were defeated. We were just about defeated. We were ready, somebody to stick the fork in us. We were done. So in 1776, out of despotism, Washington took stock to see how much ammo he had, how much people he had. They were down to minimum men. I mean, again, they were defeated, folks. And out of despotism brings out the best in patriots. Despotism brings out the best in people and humanity that want liberty, want freedom. And what he did was he crossed the Delaware. He crossed the Delaware. And not only crossing Delaware in subarctic temperatures, the river was just about frozen. They had to break the ice as they went along. The Delaware is pretty big, and nothing compared to this. And they had to march almost 9 miles down the riverbank and score their first major victory in battle. And they did. They scored their first major victory in battle. That was a huge turning point to the war because, again, they were done. They were finished. It was, the crown was just ready to, have victory, total victory. So out of despotism, they marched down 9 miles down the river, scored the biggest victory of their of the entire war. Because it was a small battle, yes, but it was the biggest victory because what it did was it sparked the electricity and liberty into the eyes and hearts of people all over the country to say, you know what, we're going to fight for General George Washington. We're going to fight for our republic. We're going to fight for liberty and freedom. And people everywhere, that little thing, that little battle sparked patriotism in the eyes and hearts of people all over the place. And then, we all know what happened after that. We ended up winning the war. But it was that small little significant battle that was the major turning point of the war. Now, people quickly forget this in history. It's about Christmas by buying gifts and all that. What about George Washington when he crossed this river? What about when not this river, but the Delaware? What about that? Let's remind our children that the father of our republic, they were down and out, ready to, out of despotism, suffering frostbite. They had all kinds of sicknesses, pneumonia. They were freezing. And they crossed the river, went 9 miles down in knee-high snow. With the clothing they had back then, they didn't have thermal clothing and all that stuff. They froze their butts off. Hypothermia they were suffering, and they still 9 miles down the river scored their first major victory. And again, it's a small battle, but it was a major turning point in the war, folks. But again, December 25th, 1776. Actually, they started this, Christmas Eve night, and it went on, it took them all night. And just before the sun started coming up, that's actually when they went to ambush the village and scored the major victory. But folks, it was horrible. Because you picture yourself crossing this, snow, coming down, and you have bare minimum supplies to even drink and eat, and especially to stay warm, and you couldn't light a fire because of that. But anyway, folks, December 25th, 1776, we got to remind our children that the father of our republic, George Washington, the general at the time, scored the first major victory to win, and it sparked liberty in the eyes and hearts and spirit of people all over New England, all over what was America at the time, the 13 colonies and all that. And we beat the world's strongest and the largest standing army, folks. So, folks, again, remember that next year, don't worry about Christmas gifts. Don't worry about selling these, celebrating these fake holidays that have nothing to do with Christ, because Christ was not even born anywhere near there. And what we should be celebrating as Americans, and we're going to start this from now on, next year, from 364 days from now, because it's the 26th year, we're going to start making sure people acknowledge and remember what happened on December 25th, 1776, is when General George Washington, at the time, before he was our first president under the Bill of Rights, when he crossed that river, scored the major victory in a small battle that sparked the liberty in the eyes of Americans everywhere. And this is Dan Bidondi for 1776 and the spirit of 1776, and I'm freezing my butt off. So anyway, God bless, folks, and hope you had a great holiday.